Hello everyone and welcome back to Monster Mania, part of the Jesse Hecht Creative Collection. Today we'll be going over Sasquatch, Wendigo, Ursa Major, and Armadillo from Marvel Legends. Before we begin, make sure to click that like button and claw that subscribe button. Now let's get to it. Sasquatch is a really nice head sculpt. I love how this looks. The contouring of the face with the fur is wonderful. I love the broad nose, the wide lips, the sort of butt chin. The red eyes are really neat though. They have some nice highlights on them too. The eyebrows are huge and awesome, and the hair is windswept and looking great. I love the sculpt on this. It's really great and top notch. The body has some insane detail on it. It looks really nice with the paint. I do think there are some scuffs from other figures touching it, but the wash is really nice. The lawn cloth is really cute. The arms are huge and very long, and the paint is applied really neatly on these arms, on the outside at least. I don't like the hand though. There's a piece of plastic sort of jutting out for the wrist articulation. It doesn't really look that great on the palm, which is a shame. The back is very hairy and looking awesome, and I do like these nails. They look wonderful. Very awesome body for a very cool figure. The legs are great too. I do think there is some plastic separation and the color is slightly different, but that's okay. I'm kind of used to it by now. The paint on this is wonderful, looking really great. It's more subtle than the other paint on the figure, and this is just super neat. It could use a little bit more paint, I think, for this, but let's talk about those feet. They're like hands. They're awesome. Really well done and greatly sculpted with some good paint on them. Great job, Hasbro, for making this figure look top notch. No accessories, so as far as articulation goes, for Sasquatch, the head can go forward this far, back this far, not really that much because of the hair. You do get a swivel that works out pretty okay. We get up this far on the arm, doesn't really crunch that much or scratch, goes around this far very nicely. A swivel over here, a single jointed elbow with very hard detents. Does not really go up that far, sadly. Get a swivel and then up this far and down for the hand, and then over on this side you get swivel and then up this far and down this far for this hand. You also get back this far, forward this far. There's a hole over here, by the way. It's a shame. On the back, there isn't much of a hole. You do get a swivel over here. You get splits this far, and it is a Build-A-Figure, so the legs will come off. Going down, going up, and back. All the way back. Pretty alright for this figure. A swivel up here. No swivel down here, but you do get a pivot and a down. Not really that far, sadly. And then a up. Pretty alright for this figure. And the two pegals upon the feet. Really nicely done. Build-A-Figure. I love how Sasquatch looks. While I don't have the rest of Alpha Flight, the team he's from, he does look awesome on his own and makes for an intimidating Build-A-Figure. I am not a huge fan of Wendigo's head. The blood on the teeth just makes it look like his teeth weren't painted all the way. That's a shame. The eyes are very deeply set in his head, and they're pretty interesting. The beard is kind of weirdly done. It's strange to me. The hair looks like weird noodles, and the ears are very sort of elf-like. This whole mishmash of pieces from different folklore, and the look doesn't really scream that great to me, even though it looks like he's screaming that he wants to die. The body is the exact same as Sasquatch, and it doesn't look that great either. It looks poorly done and a interesting rehash of a body we've seen before. Everything's basically the same except for this tail, which is fine, I would guess. It's an alright tail, but everything about the figure, aside from the hands, which have claws on them, and the feet, which have claws on them as well, are just the same. A very sort of bone white, weird looking figure with some strange paint apps that don't really make sense. Not my favorite as far as Build-A-Figures go for Marvel Legends. As far as the new articulation points go for Wendigo that weren't on Sasquatch, the head can go left and right like his predecessor, back this far, forward this far, down to the beard just okay. You do get a swivel and then a up and a down pretty well with the hand, at least. I think better than Sasquatch in some places. And down and then up and then a swivel for this. For the feet, you can go down and up pretty well, the same as before. And for the tail, it can swivel all the way around, and that's basically it. You don't really get that much with Wendigo. He's not my favorite Build-A-Figure by a long shot, being a carbon copy of his much better predecessor. Hello everyone, and thank you so much for watching so far. Make sure to click like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. You can also click the bell icon for more creativity. Now let's get back to it. Ursa Major's head looks really nice from afar, but up close there are some issues. That tooth over there that isn't painted fully kind of bothers me, and that's a shame. The nose is really cute looking and wonderful, and the eyes are deep set and white, really awesome looking. The shading on this figure is super well done, and I love how this thing looks. It's really great and just super awesome and basically perfect except for that tooth. The body for Ursa Major is brand new, and it looks nice. He's kind of fat in a way, very barrel-chested in a way. I do love the shading on him. His arms look appropriately big, and those claws look insane. They're actually kind of sharp. You could get a good scratch out of that. Really nicely done for that part. The back piece is an overlay that goes over a little bit. It's very rubbery and can come off if you want it to, but it looks really fine. But I wish it was shaded a little bit more, sadly. It doesn't really match the rest of the figure. The arms are nice. The body is nice. I just wish this piece was a little more shaded. It is in the front a tiny bit, but that doesn't really make up for the back. The legs have these wicked claws on them. They are kind of stumpy and weird looking, but endearing. Again, the shading is really nice as far as this figure goes, and I love the proportions. It's a very stumpy, small, kind of bear figure that really packs a punch with those claws. As far as articulation goes for Ursa Major, the head can go back, not really that far forward, just one click or so. You do get a swivel out of that, which is fine. You can get up this far in the arm without like breaking it or something. Going down all the way around, watching out for that piece that can come off. You do get a swivel over here and a single joint elbow that's very smooth. You do get a swivel out of that a little bit, and a swivel over here and an up and down for this paw, and then going down over here you get a swivel and then up and down for this paw. There is some issue with this coming out a little bit, sadly. You do get a rotation up here that's very clicky and back this far, exposing a lot of the interior with hole. You do go this forward, this far, not really that much for the crunch, and side to side pretty okay. I like keeping it in just one spot. You don't need to move it all that much. If the splits this far going out and in, you do go up this far and back, not really that far at all. Single jointed leg going this far, about 90, kind of poor. You can swivel over here and then a down and a up and then a pivot over here with two pagels at the bottom of these really adorable toe beans. That's cute. The interior also has toe beans for this and this portion over here for his paws. He is a nice looking figure, good for an angry bear at a picnic set, or if you want to put him in your Marvel Legends collection, and he looks really nice for what he is. Armadillo has an old looking face with a lot of wrinkles crushed into a small little armadillo sized head. It's really cool and awesomely done. I love these scales on it, and the armored plating is really nice. That grimace is wonderful, and his face is really sort of cute and tiny. It's excellent and has all the hallmarks of being an armadillo. The body for Armadillo is super thick. I love how this thing looks though. It's great. The abdomen is really nicely washed with some white coming over to some tan for the main body, and for the armored plating going around the arm, it has some really nicely segmented pieces coming down to wicked claw over here and even more wicked claw over here with some more white on the elbow joints. Really nicely done. On the back we get some great armored plating going down, leading up to this nice overlay like we saw in Ursa Major. It's really well done and very nicely shaded in a neat red, coming down to a nice sort of brown covering the figure. Incredibly well done for the paint and sculpt. Removing the back armor plating gives him this interesting look. It'd be cool if Spidey did this to him and he now has to fight with this piece off, but putting it back on is really no issue if you fit it right, and it looks great either way. The legs are plated really well for the front and not much on the sides. The back is really nicely done too with the plating, and the toes are again more claws. Super epic and great. This is an incredibly done and well sculpted figure. Awesome. As far as articulation goes for Armadillo, the head is really inset into the neck, so you have to swivel and then go back not really that far, forward not really that far, and then some nice pivot. That's okay. You can swivel this around, but just watch out for this piece in the back coming off. You'll have to hold it into place and then go up this far with the elbow, and you get a swivel over here at the bicep, a swivel over here and down and up for the hand. Not really that much. The fingers are actually kind of rubbery, which is nice. You can get a swivel and a down and a up, and kind of far on this hand over here too. You get a swivel over here and then all the way around, side to side, very nicely back and forth. You get splits over here and down, up this far and back, not really that far. This far out with the leg, not really that great. A swivel over here, no swivel down here, down and then up. The plating kind of hinders it a little bit, and then a pivot with two pagels upon the feet. Definitely a great looking figure. You have to kind of pose him hunched a bit to get him into a good stance, otherwise he'll fall back. He's a little bit top heavy, but excellent looking. A really nice figure for Armadillo. Sasquatch stands at about 8 inches tall or so. Wendigo stands at about 8¼ inches tall. The Ursa Major figure stands at around 7½ inches tall. And Armadillo stands at about slightly higher than 7½ inches tall. They look really nice together and are super cool additions to your Build-A-Figure collection, Marvel Legends collection, or if you want creatures, have at it with these. And also in the back is Jesse Hecht Creative. Alright everyone, here's a question for you. Are you a furry or a scaly? Overall, these are some pretty scary monster Build-A-Figures to add to your collection. Sasquatch is one of the best of these. I love how he looks. The burnt orange is nice, and the dark orange is wonderful, and all the colors on him are great. The attention to detail and paint wash is spectacular on this guy, and the extra sculpted details for his hands and head as well as his body are top-notch. Wendigo is a step down from Sasquatch, a cheap carbon copy of the character that I love. I really don't like the blood on the teeth. The face and head just don't really jive well with me, and the body is a reuse as well as the hands and feet aren't really that great at all. The tail is kind of a miss for me as well, not really looking that great. It all comes together in a strange mishmash of a bad character. Ursa Major looks great. It's nice to have a bear in the collection, especially one that's as good looking as this. The wash is wonderful on the figure. If subtle, I really love how the claws look on him, and it all comes together in this nice stocky, punchy kind of Build-A-Figure that I really love, and that head sculpt is great. Armadillo looks fantastic. I love the subtle color wash on the figure, and he looks really great. The armored plating is excellent throughout, and the sculpting is really top-notch. Those claws are super cool looking and can dig into flesh really well. Sure, the head can't really move that much, or he can't curl into a ball, but for an action figure this size, he is excellent. If you're a fan of urban legends, monsters, myths, and folklore, these are the figures for you. I highly recommend getting all of them, even Wendigo if you're a fan. But make no mistake, if you don't get them, they'll get you. So which one is your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching Jesse Hecht Creative. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, and leave a comment. You can also visit us at jessehechtcreative.com for more reviews like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and do keep being creative. Stay tuned.